Hello, everybody. Hello, everypony. Thank you so much for joining Ponymon Dawn and Dusk retrospective stream. I'm going to turn this down as I am now talking. Um, I would like to say hello and also thank you to the staff for letting me um, do this panel, as this project has always been very close to me. And, well, I'm gonna be going over a bunch of stuff about the project. So, thank you to those who may be watching later. And as the thing restarts, I think that's about time for me to get started on stuff. So, first of all, what in the world is Ponymon? Um, for those who don't know, Ponymon is a ROM hack of the Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green games. And what a ROM hack is it's basically a so you take the game, the ROM of the game, and then you change a bunch of stuff in it. But what Ponymon basically did is change up all the Pokemon into ponies and edited some of the dialogue around, but pretty much other than that, it's pretty much the same game. It started back in 2012, and it got passed down to person after person after person. And unfortunately, a lot of the people who originally started working on this, links to their information don't really work anymore. But it was created by Duskshine, and then taken over by Chaos Vision, and then passed down to Flutteryay, and then passed it down to Cobalt, who was helped by Michael Scratch, and then it was passed down to me in 2014. So the history and development of the game has been very long, obviously. There's been a lot of people that have worked on it, a lot of people that have left, and a lot of stuff that has happened. It used to be pretty popular back in the day, and there was a lot of hiatuses too, as being passed down from person to person. It would be go on hiatus, and then somebody would work on it, release an update. So what was really in the game was just a bunch of different stuff, and what ponies were in the game were like a bunch of your favorite iconic ponies, like a Twinkle-Shine, I guess, Applejack, Fluttershy, of course, Trixie, Apple Bloom, Sheriff Silverstar, I guess. You already saw this, but the brass player? So, it was started in 2012, and that was early in the days of, My Little Pony, and we didn't have a lot of characters to work with. Well, I say we, I wasn't on the project at that time. We didn't have a lot to work with, and in that, too, like, a lot of the... So Pinkie Pie's sisters were in the game, but they still had the fandom names, as they weren't revealed yet. Maud Pie wasn't in the game. There was Inky Pie and Blinky Pie, and interestingly, the sprite for Inky Pie at the time turned out to be very close to how how she actually looks in the show. So cool prediction. What you might have seen as I was quickly going through these is like, hey, I recognize this sprite. Hey, I recognize this one too. And this one. So I'm sure you already know possibly what these are from, but these are all, not all of them, but a lot of them are Desktop Pony sprites. And the problem comes in with that is that I don't think the team ever really got permission to use these. Desktop Ponies was very popular at the time, which Desktop Ponies is just a program that puts ponies on your desktop. A bunch of people worked on these sprites that weren't from the Ponymon team. And I'm not totally out of the blame as well, as when I started working on the project, I also used the sprites. As you can see, this is the whole dex that was updated recently. Not recently, but a few years ago. I also used desktop pony sprites, like Nightmare Night Rainbow Dash. I edited this from a desktop pony sprite, and I was very young at the time, and I didn't know what the concept of giving credit was. Really, a lot older now. And, well, there was a lot of different... Throughout the years, the roster of Ponymon didn't really change, even though throughout the years more characters were being added, and we finally learned Pinkie Pie Sisters and stuff like that. Even though it the game didn't really update, as it went from person to person, but I don't know most of the history of what happened beforehand, but I can tell you guys what happened when I was brought onto the project, which was about 6 years ago. So, this is the homepage, but it used to look like this. A little bit different, but with a lot of different stuff. So, I went to work on the project. I wanted to work on the project in December of 2013. And once 2014 rolled around, I started messaging the people, as I had made a ROM hack beforehand on a whim called Pokemon Prosecutor's Path, and there's nothing here. That's great. What I did is I made a ROM hack that was just replacing the sprites in Fire Red and Leaf Green with some Phoenix Wright sort of stuff, and then I saw Ponymon, and I'm like, I'm gonna go pick this up. As I said, I'm 14 years old at the time, and I didn't know what in the world I was doing, but I just wanted to do it for some reason. So I messaged one of the people working at the time, Michael Scratch, and then I talked to Mario Land, and then eventually sometime, this is what my old profile looked like, I got consent from Brony Dubs through email to continue working on the project. So then I had updated the wiki saying that I'd gotten his consent, which I don't know what role he had in the project, but I got the okay to go ahead. And from then, I started working on the game. Until... How far did the 0.3 go? I just know that I added in Nightmare Night Evolutions, Diglett's Cave and the town that's around that. And I just added in a few things, although, like I said, I wasn't the best person to be on the thing, and I'm surprised they actually let me be on the game. Because I didn't do the best job. The game was never totally flawless in the first place. A lot of issues happened before I even picked up the game, like going into the daycare and using the daycare would sometimes crash the game. All the TMs and HMs seem to have just dark sprites, and things were kind of messed up there. Sometimes talking to the old man would softlock the game. So there are a lot of problems, and I didn't really know what I was doing, as well as there weren't the most tutorials out there at the time to help people with ROM hacking. There was still stuff out there, but not as much, so I kind of equivalent that to some of the errors and stuff that happens. I'll go into what makes a ROM hack a little bit later, so I can explain probably why all this stuff happened, but what I can't explain away is, I left 2 actual Pokemon in the game. Well, you can see they're renamed. but they had Pokemon sprites, and they weren't really programmed in. I forgot to change those, as well as I added in overworld sprites, except for Sweetie Belle and Scootaloo here. As you can see, is a Seal and a Pikachu. I don't know about you, but those don't look like ponies. This was the main thing I had a problem with, too, is changing the dialogue here. I didn't know that how to do it correctly, so I was just going in and changing it, and I kept having problems with one thing and then another thing. But the reason why Ponymon has always been so close to me and why I've stuck with the project for so long is that this is the moment when I finally figured it out. I got that aha moment, like, oh my gosh, I figured out how to do it. And that made me want to go into game design as a career, and that's what I'm doing in college now. That's what I'm going to college for. So it's helped me realize, like, helped me spark my creativity and realize what I want to do. Almost like earning a cutie mark in a way. So I released the 0.4 update, which I constantly mistyped as 4.0 all the time. And by this time, support for the game had kind of died down. It had previously gotten posts on Equestria Daily, and I don't know if Equestria Daily, but Equestria Gaming for sure. And once all the hiatuses came around, it took me 2 years to make the 0.4 update. I made this video. Yeah. And people still really did follow the project, but at the time, as I was making it, I had to do with some things as well. Somebody, I think the person that made Ponymon Anarchy, took the game and got rid of the barriers that blocked people from getting the rest of the game, and just uploaded it without my consent, which wasn't good because the rest of the game was glitchy probably, and all the Pokemon sprites are still there and not replaced, and there's like a game freeze or something. I don't know what happened, but I had to try and deal with that, as well as at the same time I was in middle school, which was a hard time for me, and I had to deal with school and personal stuff, and I had to work on this at the same time. But once I released the 0.4 update, I kind of just dropped off. Like, the project always stayed in my mind. This is my update here. It just kind of dropped off for me. I didn't have the most motivation, though I always saw all the support everybody gave for the project, and a lot of people still really liked it and played it. And at this time, my 0.4 update currently has 20,000 downloads, and I saw that the other day, and I was like, what? So, this is, my update, and, this is the person that, kinda just took it or whatever. Oh yeah, I didn't think I showed this, but yeah, this is my video. I forgot to change screens. Whatever, it's fine. But, so then it kinda went back into hiatus for a while, and since it kinda left with all of the big popularity, people weren't willing to pick it up. Until a person named Black Oak came to me and decided to pick up the project. He did a lot of stuff. This is his update page, which is a lot longer than mine is. But he worked from the inside out at the beginning and changed so many things, and things I didn't even understand, but he did so much work on everything. Like, all of these things, and made sprites, and, just one day, so this is through 2017 and such, just one day he stopped posting. Thankfully, his daughter was kinda around on the wiki too, and kinda talked to me and stuff like that, so from what he had said too, in the past, I had assumed that he was very busy with his real life. contemporary 3D printer, so I assumed he was high up in some sort of technological sort of position. But he kind of dropped off in around 2018, and then late 2018, early 2019, I picked up the project again because he hadn't done anything. He hadn't been posting anything. So I made updates and stuff, and during the time that he was working on it, he was doing a lot of stuff, and at the time all I did was make sprites. Which my spriting had gotten way better at that point. I could actually make things and not have to rely on desktop pony sprites. So this was great practice for me, and I made a bunch of stuff. I supported him, and he did a lot of the work, but it was mainly just us, and there were still people, like all these comments of people still really liking the game and excited to see that it's still being worked on. So I know I could never abandon the project. Just how close it is to me and how much how much people still were really excited to see it. So I made these updates, but I still didn't have the most motivation. As you can see, there's not a lot here to show. I just made some drawings, like some concepts for what the main 6 evolutions would be. Previously, their evolution was a filly to an adult to the gala form, to their gala outfit, and I added Nightmare Night evolutions with the Moonstone, but that doesn't seem like the best evolution. But that's also because this game was started in 2012, and like I said, we didn't have a lot to work with. But still, I didn't do much. I still made a few sprites in here and there, and I didn't have the most motivation. I created a new update page, which is here, and I still talked about my plans and what I wanted to do and everything. I ended up making some more sprites, and stuff like that. And during around May 2020, which, if you might know, is when Ponymon 2.0 happened, I ended up seeing a certain somebody. She was actually in a panel earlier today, playing Ponymon Dawn and Dusk in one of the channels here, and I saw that, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I made that! So I hopped in, and once she was done playing it, I started talking about my stuff, and somebody was like, hey, I recognize you, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And that actual interaction with people really like heightened my motivation for the game, and like it's you guys who still like the game and are interested in the game and the development to thank for it actually coming to fruition again. So I also made a new wiki now. So this is the new home of Ponymon Dawn and Dusk. I am going to make it a revamp. So here's the new logo, as you can see on my stream overlay, and here's the background that's also on my overlay. I've been making a bunch of sprites, and I've been working very hard on the game for this panel. I also am opening up staff positions, so if people are ever inclined to see, ever inclined to try and help work on it, definitely check this out and message me about it. I am more than willing to help, to accept help on this. I can't offer much in terms of payment. I can add your OC into the game in like a secret area or something like that, but other than that, I can't do much. One of the biggest things with this game is that what people keep talking about now that I've brought the remake up and it's going around is that like the C&Ds. I'm actually surprised that before, like, the game was pretty popular, and that was kind of in a day of where like fighting is magic and stuff like that got really C&D'd. A lot of fan projects were, and I'm surprised with how popular Ponymon was, it didn't get C&D'd. Especially with the two most notorious companies for doing that, Hasbro and Nintendo. So I'm not gonna, this is a fan project, and I'm not gonna get any payment from this or anything. So I'm covering my tracks with that. But I'm not scared of a CND. Um, but who knows what might happen? I don't think the new project is ever going to get as much traction as it did in the past. But um, if it does happen, then it happens. But I'm going to stay with this project. Oh wow, intense music. I'm going to stay with this project because of the reasons I've already said, until something does happen. And I'm very excited to show all you people what I have in store for the new game. I'm gonna have a new storyline, new characters. It's gonna be a lot more than just, oh, it's Pokemon Fire and Leaf Green, but ponies are in it. Um, and that's also why I brought it up again after Black Oak left. I've been thinking of so many ideas since then, and I'm excited to show them to you people here live on stream. You guys get a first look at my actual progress and what I'm doing. So, for how a ROM hack is actually made, it's very complicated. Here's my virtual machine. I'm using a virtual machine to do my ROM hacking stuff, just in case, there's a virus or something happens to my computer, which also stopped my progress last time, after the 0.4 update, because my old computer kind of got bricked. So, ROM hacking is essentially a bunch of different programs together that change different things. As an inside look into the old 0.4 update, this program is used to edit all the Pokemon in the game. So you can do their stats, their moves, their evolutions, Pokédex stuff. This is a Philly Applejack, of course, and these are her sprites. But there's a lot of complex things that go into making a ROM hack, and again, why I think stuff got messed up in the past is because you're rewriting new data to a game that has already been completed, and there's a lot of risk of rewriting data and messing up the game and stuff like that. There's, as you see, it says repoint here. Well, I don't know if you can see it, but repointing, it's a very delicate process. You mess one thing up and you can mess up the whole game. But well, as you can see here, a lot of the icons are here, but a lot of the things were never changed. And this is just the Pokemon. There's a lot of different stuff you need to do with this. Changing music is especially difficult. And another thing with me taking it back on again now, is that there's a lot more information out there and a lot more help to help people ROM hack and do it safely and not do errors. There's one specific person I would like to point out that has definitely helped me. Not directly, well, kind of directly. His name is Anthroid. Nope, I want that. There we go. He has a series of ROM hacking tutorials on his channel that are so extensive and cover so much stuff. They don't cover everything. So for more stuff, going to Poke Community is very helpful too, if anybody out there is interested in making a ROM hack. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff there. So I'd like to do a little demonstration of how I make this thing. So first of all, I'm going to open up a sprite, which this is an old demo version that anybody can get for free, which I would definitely recommend. I have the paid version, which isn't too much, which has a ton of features like editing a palette, which is very important for ROM hacking. Since every sprite is separated into a palette and the sprite data, You still need some other programs, but there are videos out there that can explain way better than me. So, every Pokemon sprite, and most of the sprites in the game, are 64 by 64 pixels. And so, you can only use 16 colors, and one of those 16 colors is the background. So, you can't do... You have to be very strategic with how you make your sprites, and how you can make them look good with only 16 colors. And that's another thing too. I'm very glad I'm working on this now, because I now have a much better understanding, and I'm way better at art now, so I can make stuff look good. So I'm going to just I'm gonna make a little bitrate, and this is gonna be very bad. And this is going to be very rushed, but I do plan to add bitrate into the game as like a secret character because of how PonyFest has helped me, has rebrought my motivation back for the game. This is incredibly messy and incredibly bad. I'm also using with a delayed tablet since I'm on a virtual machine. But you know, this is gonna be our sprite, and this is just how it's gonna be. Oh, as I'm doing the sprite right now, I will take questions from people. So, no net stage questions. I can't see. So, this is definitely being recorded. I hope so. Best advice you can get to make a Pokemon fan game? Well, like I said, those YouTube tutorials and stuff like that are definitely very helpful. Going on and getting help from people, and he has a Discord server too. Getting help from people when things go wrong is very helpful, that I can tell myself. And I don't know what other advice I can give. It's a hard process. Okay, another thing, definitely make backups. I've been making a lot of backups because you mess up one thing and you can't go back. Because you repoint the data and you change the data and there's no way to go back. So you have to create backups, or else things are going to go wrong. And if you mess something up, you're going to have to start all over again. Would I recommend making a ROM hack or doing a thing? Well, I think I would actually recommend making it on your own if you had a base to work off of, because making a ROM hack, as the state is right now, not like state in terms of like country and stuff like that, but like, ROMs are illegal to put up for download, so you have to apply a patch and stuff. So it would be a lot safer if you just do it from something else. But making a ROM hack is also very nice, and I want to stay true to what the original game is, so I'm making a ROM hack. What is my, is the game emulated? The game is definitely emulated. Like I said, it comes from ROMs, and the main program to use is Visual Boy Advance. That's where my intro was from, right here. So this is the old thing, and yeah. So yeah, what's my favorite part of the ROM hack? In terms of not in the game, my favorite part is seeing people play it, and that's my favorite part of anything I work on. Ponymon is the biggest thing I've ever worked on, and I'm so excited to see all the time when people play it, and people are reacting to the stuff I put in there, and it's just it just really keeps me motivated. But in terms of in the game itself, I definitely like making sprites. Uh, that's one of my specialties in art. In terms of in the actual game, I'm not sure. Uh, in the old games, I'm not sure, but in terms of what I'm doing now, there's definitely a few things that I like a lot that I will get to later, that I will reveal to you guys that I'm working on. Um, yeah. What is the hardest part of making a ROM hack? Um, the hardest part is running into issues. Since not everything still is not documented, it's very easy for things to go wrong, and you don't know what the problem is, and you don't know what to do. And you look on Google, and there's nothing really there. Um, and I'm just using the colors from the palette here over on the side, so the colors stink as well. Um, sorry, just need a sip of water. That's good. Any notable mess ups? So I'm pretty early in the stage right now, and when I was younger and working on it, uh, I've already shown my mess ups that were not importing the Pokemon that I needed to and doing that stuff. But it's just pretty frustrating when you don't know what to do, and I've already said that. Um, so do I have to rewrite certain parts of the code? I um well, yes. You have to rewrite some of the code for some things. Um, well, I guess pretty much the whole thing is rewriting the game. Um, actually, no, let me rephrase this better. Um, there are parts that you have to rewrite that you kind of can't change. Um, I don't know the most about what goes into these programs. These programs definitely do stuff, do a lot of work, and wow, this looks really bad, but you know what? I'm just gonna finish it. um, sorry, it's hard for me to do art and this at the same time, but some of it is rewriting stuff that can't be, um, like a lot of the text, you have to rewrite since it's hard to make new stuff, and the Pokemon you definitely have to rewrite. Um, but things like sprites and stuff like that, usually you make new stuff and they get added into new space at the end of the cartridge. Not the cartridge, but the ROM, the free space that they have left, and sometimes you have to add more space to it. Um, there's coding that goes into it too, with making events and stuff like that, which is a heart and soul of a ROM hack, basically. Ponymon was cool, but it didn't really have anything original to show. Um, a lot of that would come from coding and making events and making a story and stuff like that. Just a lot of original things. Um, but I thought when I was first making it that it was a bunch of replacing sprites and text, which it kind of is, but also not at the same time. Like you're replacing them in game, but data is being overwritten and changed. And that's what you have to watch out for is if you do it wrong. And if you do something wrong and you don't have enough space or something like that, stuff's gonna be overwritten and your game's gonna get messed up. A key mark is becoming part of her whole body. That's okay. what I would usually do when making a sprite is I get reference images so that I can emulate the style of My Little Pony nicely. And I make a sketch. I was doing this earlier today in one of my art streams, so the art channel. Is this Philly or adult bitrate? I guess this is adult bitrate. Who knows, honestly. Princess bitrate, whatever. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I usually put a lot more work into my stuff. I do a sketch first, and then I transfer the sketch, and then I make it, and I size it down appropriately. What I would usually do at this time on my other thing is, oh, font size. Oh, nope, that doesn't work. I would limit down the palette to see how many colors I have. So let's save this as, see these names, Sunny and Maine. Keep those in your mind for a little bit later. Who might that be? What's it like making custom cutscenes and events? I haven't gotten to that yet. So I haven't done a lot of that stuff yet, but I have researched into it. There are tools and stuff to edit some things. But to do it the best is to try and kind of code it. Like, you can edit cutscenes, and stuff like that. Like the intro, that would be really hard to change. And I don't even think it's really possible. It's also really hard to change opening stuff. And would I consider ROM hacking worth it? Well, I don't know. Let me just name this. There are a lot of people that do it, and there's a big community out there for ROM hacking. And it is fun. Like I said earlier, when I finally got my thing working, it gave me such like a sense of I did it, and it made me realize what I wanted to do. So there's joy in finally seeing what you have done working, and especially seeing other people play it. Fangames are pretty well too. I mean, I don't have the best advice on this because I didn't make this from scratch. Somebody else did, and when it was popular, it was taken over to me. So I already had popularity with me, and that's another thing why I want to make this, is that, like, I was given this thing, and I need to keep working on it. I should keep working on it, because of that. But, you know, do what makes you happy. If you want to make games and stuff, like what I want to do in the future, I feel like this is nice. Everybody has their own reason. Everyone has their own reasons for making stuff. So, since you can only use 16 colors, you have to decrease the color depth to 16 colors in frame view. And the first color in the palette has to be black. Which, not has to be black, but it has to be the background color. So what would usually happen is that the actual background color, like green, would be here, and you'd have to switch it around, which would mess up the colors in your sprite. Then you have to open it back up, but that's good that it isn't doing that right now, so I can just save as. I wonder who that may be. Ooh. Oops, I didn't do that. I think a bitmap works. Certain programs have certain things, like some programs want, uh, some programs want PNGs, some want bitmaps and stuff like that. You just have to work with what program. Um, I am not able to work on this stuff as a college major, and I don't think I'm still in community college, so I'm working to transfer into. I'm getting all my general ed done right now, so I'm working into actually getting into what I want to do. Advanced. What am I doing? Advanced series. Um, and because of the nature of this, I don't think I'm gonna really be able to use this for any references and stuff, because it's kind of not the most legal thing, I guess, to be doing. It's obviously very popular on the internet, and it's not like totally illegal or something. We're just making games out of stuff. But if I was to go work at Nintendo or something, which is what my dream job would be, I don't think it would be best to be like, hey, I used a ROM of your game. uh, so I don't think I can, but if I was doing something else, then maybe. What am I doing? I am opening up the game. So, actually, wait. Let me open up the other one. These are all my backups. I have a lot of backups. It's always good to do. So I have down in my sketchbook here. I'm now using Emerald for the game because it has a cooler intro and you can animate the sprites. So I'm going to. I have to. Oops, there we go. There's Corsola. I saw this and I'm like, oh, this would be nice for a bit, right? So I'm going to import the sprite. Let's see, where did I save it to? Here. Synchronize palettes. I gotta import this one again. And there's currently no back sprite. Obviously, because it hasn't been made yet, but... And... that should be it. So when you write to a ROM, if you didn't, there's a thing of finding free space and stuff like that. So how different, okay, this is a good question. How different is it to use Emerald and Fire Red? It's pretty different. Even though they're from the same generation, they're different games, and a lot of people like using Fire Red and Leaf Green way better than Emerald, so there's not as much information out there for Emerald ROM hacking than there is Fire Red and Leaf Green. There's definitely advantages to it, because Emerald has cute little animations and stuff like that, and it's still it's still documented better than like DS games and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff. There's a bunch of different offsets for all the sprites and stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that isn't documented as well. But the process is the same. But the process and the programs are pretty much the same. But yeah. Will there be shiny versions of ponies? I am so glad you asked because I forgot to bring it up earlier. But previously, here, let me bring up so previously there was a forum that was called High Time for Shinies, made by Chaos Vision, where it was user submitted. A lot of people submitted fan-made shiny versions of characters, and I loved the concept of this. This was before I was onto the project as well, but I loved this thing. The only problem is that you have to change the palette and not the sprite. So that might be the difficult thing for it. I am on the right page, right? Yeah, I am. For people to make, but I want to do this again because I loved seeing the interesting work people had. And you don't really need to have artistic talent per se. Like, you don't need to make a sprite, you just need to change the colors of it. So I'm going to recreate this sort of thing. But yes, there is going to be shiny ponies, not right now, but in the future. Oh, another thing too. Oh, there's me being stupid again. Oh, okay. So I got 5 minutes. I imported the thing. I'm going to open up advanced map. Where's advanced map? Advanced map. There we go. File load ROM. And I don't think I can take any more questions now, but I'm willing to answer them later. If you have any more questions and you want to look at stuff, please go to the wiki. But I am now going to go to Ponyville. This is New Ponyville. This is the map I made. Actually, you know what? Let's go to a different one so I can actually go to the sprite work import. I think this works now. So. And now I'm going to go to Corsola. This is me changing what Pokemon I can find in the wild, so save that. And now, let's play this thing, and let me show you what I have. I also want to point out, while I'm opening this, that I cannot... I won't put people's OCs into the game unless they work on the project, but I am currently taking commissions, and I'm in the vendor's hall. I am taking commissions for Ponymon style sprites, so if you want your pony to look like it's in the game, and I can make a sprite and import it and take a GIF of the animation, but I can't, like, give you a ROM of it. So I can make this style games, but here we go. Intro's not changed yet, but... Yes, Birch, hello. Ta-da! So, here's my big reveal. Yeah, here's my big reveal. Here is the new main protagonist. Their name is Main. This is the same character, just with different sprites. So this is Main. The main character of the game. Haha. Their designs were based off of, I'm just going to rush through this now. But their designs were based off of the Generation 3 protagonists, and their colors were based off of... There's a lot of stuff. This is a previous thing, so all the stuff wasn't changed yet, but, their colors were based off of the main 6's color palettes. There's a lot of stuff that's not changed yet, but I wanted to show you something. Ignore that. There's no person here. Here's Fluttershy. I know its name is Parasect. I haven't changed the thing yet, but... I, hopefully want to show, there's Twilight. There's Twilight again. Oh, these rates are great. I actually don't think this is the one I used. I didn't import the sprite in this one, but here's everything. And there's main, and there's the back sprite. Oh, something else I need to show you too. Here's main's new bag. So, I have a lot of sprites done as of right now, and I have a lot of things. There's a new story, which will involve Discord, Celestia, and Luna. And, I just wanted to thank you all for joining and watching me, and, if you all want to support the game, please check out Ponymon Dawn and Dusk, at Wikia, the Ponymon Dawn and Dusk. If you just go search Ponymon, you'll find the original wiki, and on the original wiki, you'll find a link to the new wiki. So if you go here, and then you go here, and here's the new one. So please reach out to me about joining the team, and fill out this form as well to see, to show like what ponies do you want in the game, what do you want to see in the game. I'm very happily taking suggestions, as well as here's where everything about the game will be posted. Here's the new update page. As you can see, here's the work in progress of the title screen and stuff like that. And, you know, here's me being excited about getting the panel. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and will the music be the same? Last question. I'm working on adding a few new tracks, but, other than that, things will be pretty much the same. But, you know, I wanted to thank you all so much for being here, and, you know, I'm just gonna leave it on this one. This is funny. I want to thank you all and thank the staff for letting me do this. Just thank you so much. Ponymon has been the biggest thing I've ever been a part of, and I'm so, so happy to have been able to do this and share my work and my progress and show it off to the people who used to know the project that I'm doing stuff with it again. So thank you all so much. Please check out my stuff, and if you're wanting to support me, please check out my vendor hall. Like I said, you can get a Ponymon style sprite there. And it'll be open tonight and tomorrow. And check out the wiki, and, you know, just have a great day. And the new update will hopefully be coming at the end of June. That is my estimated date. So, thank you all so much.